Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome back to Only Olivia's World 95 Podcast. This is the second episode officially, and it is August 7th, 2025. I am your esteemed host, Olivia, and we are diving deep today in our bestie, our best friend. We love her. We all know her, Miss Girl, Annabelle. Okay, so I'm setting it up because I don't want to really offend her or get cursed or anything like that. So we're trying to play it safe. Miss Girl, Annabelle, don't come for us. But we're going to do a deep dive on her. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll get into it, okay? So, the outline of the podcast that I kind of want you guys to get used to is I'm going to open it up with something fun to talk about. Then I'm going to deep dive into a more serious topic. And then I'm going to have a little palate cleanser after our deep dive so that we can all relax and not be anxious and stressed out after listening to this podcast. But I just want to thank you all so much for clicking on this podcast, listening to it. New episodes are going to be dropping every Thursday, as I mentioned in my last episode. You can listen on Spotify, Apple, and if you're listening, you can also watch this on YouTube because I look so good today. Okay. I have my nails done, my hair looks good, makeup look good, shirt look good, pants look good. And then I also have this really cozy blanket that I want to put on because I want to get like cozy with it. Because also fall is coming. Fall is coming down the mountain when she comes. I'm so stupid. But so, like I said, I'm going to do like a little casual weekly life check-in, then the deep dive, and then you guys, my hot take or current obsession of the week, and then a listener submission, which you guys can email at podcast@OliviasWorld95 to submit your interesting stories, any questions of advice you want to ask me, anything you're interested in. I'm your big fat girl. So, so I basically have an outline that I'm going to like go over, but my weekly life check-in. My week has been fierce, has been a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of a depression, a little cocktail mocktail of both. um but you know what's so annoying? I feel like I stress out about the same things on loop. On loop. So if I get myself out of it, something will just trigger it within me again and I'll just get stressed out about it again. It doesn't fucking end. Um so we love that. We love being stressed out on loop because it just feels so good for our mental health. I'm living for that. And okay, I love the Mandarin. I went to the Mandarin with my friends over the weekend. And y'all, buffets, do not sleep on buffets, okay? I used to think it's like trashy to go to buffet. I don't know why. I think I was just embarrassed to be seen putting food on my plate. But oh my goodness. The Mandarin is the best buffet ever. Okay, I know there's probably better ones, but in my opinion, I had such a fun time just stacking up these plates and just filling them up to the brim and into the rim. And I start off with wonton soup with the crispy rice crackers on top of it, and then some scallions too. And then I have that, and then I go into the egg roll, the spring roll, the chicken. What are they called? The chicken balls with the nice sweet and sour sauce on top. Ooh, girl, I could sell my soul for that. Okay, and I think Annabelle gonna fetch my soul in this podcast because I just said that. Annabelle, please, please, girl. Oh my god, and I'm so stupid. Like, I feel like I don't introduce things properly, but the title of this episode is Annabelle the Warrens and Why Matt Rife owns her right now. Bitch, we're gonna get so deep into it. Back to the Mandarin talk though. I'm a little bit all over the place. I don't know if some of you might not like that, might enjoy that. Who knows? Okay, so the Mandarin, noodles, black pepper beef, General Tao chicken, lemon chicken, literally everything you could think of. They had so many desserts. They had sushi bar, they had dessert bar, barbecue bar. They even had a poutine, which I got. I know it's kind of gross to get a poutine at like Mandarin because it's like, why would you get Canadian food at an Asian buffet? But trust me, it was salty and good. I liked it. But Anyways, yeah, Mandarin, I honestly want to go there each single year for my birthday now. That's how much I love it. I don't care. Get up, get your plates, stack them plates high. Service was incredible too. They weren't even like rushing you out of the place. They were just really nice and um yeah, I love buffets. Okay, so if you love a buffet, I'm your fucking girl. Take me out to a buffet. Pay for me, girl. Pay for me. Pray for me and pray and pay for me. Oh my god, I'm making myself laugh. But so yeah, buffets are my weekly obsession. I thought I should just take that and just run with it and just tell you guys about it before we get really scary with it. Because if you're into paranormal stuff, if you're into things like that, this is gonna be the episode for you to watch and listen to because we're diving deep. Because, and I'll tell you why we are diving deep. So Annabelle doll has been in the headlines lately, okay? Yes, the Annabelle doll that is in The Conjuring that everyone talks about, that is The Conjuring was based off of the Annabelle movie. It was kind of like a sub movie, a subplot, and the main people binding the topics together are Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are psychic, like they dive deep into to the demonic, to the paranormal. They dive deep into that. They're researchers, they're, paranormal experts, as if you will. And everything I'm going to say in this podcast is alleged. Is alleged. Shut up. Everything I'm going to say in this podcast is alleged, so nothing is confirmed to be factually true. It is all speculation because yes, although some of these things have occurred, we can't say if they've for sure occurred. It's all up in the air. It's up to you to decide what you believe is true or not. But what we know for sure is that the comedian Matt Rife has been making headlines lately. He purchased the former Warren estate in Monroe, Connecticut, and with it, the guardianship of the one of the most infamous haunted objects in the world, the Annabelle doll. So I have no clue why he decided to buy this estate and get ownership and guardianship of such, haunted artifacts that the Warrens have collected over the years. I don't know what he's getting himself into because I personally would not mess with that spiritual side of the world. I'm pretty spooked when it comes to that stuff. I don't even mess with a Ouija board. Like, I'm so basic. I'm basic white girl PSL fall vibes. That's who I am, with Ugg boots too. So, and I'm gonna just dive deep into Annabelle because it's such a notorious doll. It's inspired its own trilogy of horror films. It is said to have scratched people, choked visitors, and allegedly been linked to a tragedy. And now a TikTok famous comedian is in charge of her. So it's getting a little bit spicy. It's getting a little bit too close for comfort for me. So we're gonna do a deep dive into her origin story, Annabelle's origin story, how Ed and Lorraine Warren came into the picture, her transformation into a Hollywood star, and the recent paranormal tour controversy, and of course how Matt Rife wound up as her new guardian. So buckle in, Miss Girl. Buckle on in, because Annabelle, we're coming for you. Okay, so let's dive deep. Let's go back to 1970. A 28-year-old nursing student in Hartford, Connecticut, publicly known as Donna, reportedly received a Raggedy Ann doll. Okay, so this is a doll, and I'll put a picture up of it. It's a doll that is like not one of your porcelain dolls, because in the movies, Annabelle is portrayed as a porcelain doll, but it's really a Raggedy Ann doll, which is something interesting that I don't think many people know, that the original doll is not a porcelain doll. And a lot of the times I feel like porcelain dolls look way scarier because they look so hyper realistic, their faces, and it's a little creepy. I think maybe that's why they decided to use a porcelain doll, because it is more creepy looking, because a Raggedy Ann doll just looks like a scarecrow, kind of like a stuffed fabric, nothing really too scary. But anyways, Donna, over time, she and her roommate claimed strange things began happening. The doll allegedly moved on its own, showing up in rooms where no one had left it. Miss Girl had legs. They reportedly found small scraps of parchment paper with messages like "Help us," written in what looked like childlike writing. Ooh, I would lose my shit. I'm so scared of all of this, and I'm scared to read this stuff, you guys. But I would be like, Miss Girl, this doll is not worth keeping. And then a male visitor is said to have woken up one night feeling pinned down with scratch marks across his chest. So, concerned, of course, the family contacts a psychic medium who allegedly told them that the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins. Okay. According to the story, the woman gave permission for the spirit to stay, but that's when activity reportedly escalated. And then at this point, Ed and Lorraine Warren, well known paranormal investigators, who concluded that this was not the spirit of a little girl, but an inhuman demonic entity using the doll as a conduit. Oh my goodness. Oh, that just gives me the chills thinking about that. Ed and Lorraine Warren came up and said, Miss Girl, this is not an innocent, you know, type of thing. This is serious, serious business we're talking about here. So their involvement, because they, like I said, they are paranormal investigators and they're well known around the time to be helping families dealing with like quote unquote possessions, demonic things, and things that are occurrences that cannot be explained by science or cannot be explained, period. So whether you are a believer of it or not, it's basically it's something you got to take with a grain of salt, but there are a lot of believers, and to be honest, I don't have enough information to say I don't believe, and I also wouldn't say that I believe. I'm kind of like a person that's in the middle, agnostic, if you will. um so that was like you know a really really crazy origin story that this doll was wreaking havoc on this family. So let me give you some background on who Ed and Lorraine Warren was. So Ed Warren was a self-described demonologist, and Lorraine was self-described clairvoyant and trance medium. So a clairvoyant, if I'm not mistaken, is someone who can see things, who can have that psychic ability to find out where people are or where things are, or see things that other people can't, like sort of like help with missing people cases. I know that people who are clairvoyant or claim to be clairvoyant have helped the FBI in some cases to find missing people. So, take it with a grain of salt, but she found and shit. Together, both of them founded the New England Society for Psychic Research, which I'm going to refer to as NESPR, in 1952. So they claim to have investigated thousands of paranormal cases, from ghost hauntings to demonic possessions. And my very first introduction to possession movies and everything was the Exorcist movie, which made me absolutely sick to my stomach. I hated it so much, especially when those pop-ups that they were making in the early 2000s online, when you do a maze, and then all of a sudden on the screen pops up the Exorcist face. Oh my gosh, it it shattered my soul. It made me so afraid, but I can't help it but be interested in watching these scary movies because they're funny, I guess. Um, so, in 1971, the Warrens took Annabelle into their care, sealing her in a custom-built glass and wood case in their occult museum in Monroe, Connecticut. So this is the same museum in Monroe, Connecticut that Matt Rife now owns, which is so crazy. The case that they put Annabelle in was marked with "positively do not open." And there's images where you can see it. You can see this signage telling people, do not open this, girl. Do not open this, stay far, far away from her, blah, blah, blah. There is signage that says, do not open. Isn't that crazy? So a year after that situation, they took the doll and they put it aside, took it away from the original owners. So, insane. The Warrens said that this was safety for visitors, claiming that anyone who disrespected Annabelle risked serious misfortune. In interviews, they told stories of visitors who allegedly mocked the doll and later died in motorcycle accidents or experienced serious injuries, though skeptics argue these claims are unverified and anecdotal. So, if you mess with Annabelle, if you talk smack, if you drag her, if you put any, disrespect on her name, she's going to come for you. Just saying. Respect to you, Annabelle. We love you, girl. We're here for you. We support you and we love you. Now, her influence in movies became such a huge thing because it was something that was so insane that everyone was talking about. They finally made, the first appearance of Annabelle in July of 2013 with The Conjuring. She's portrayed as a porcelain doll, so a major change from how her original Raggedy Ann look. And she was in Annabelle, the first movie, Annabelle, the second movie, the third movie. There's 3 movies about her. And these films, you guys, grossed hundreds of millions of dollars globally and cementing her as a pop culture horror icon. And through, again, the movie lore is far removed from real life accounts. So, they create movies based on things that didn't actually happen, and it's basically making her more of a popular horror icon that people talk about and reference. Like, everyone kind of knows who she is at this point because we all just bring her up all the time, and just, all these movies made her so popular. And then fast forward, you guys, 2025, this year alone, in May of this year, the NESPR launched the Devils on the Run tour, taking Annabelle and other haunted artifacts on the road for ticketed events in the US. And I'm sure you guys have probably heard about this because I've seen lots of stuff about it online, of course, on social media, of like people taking the Annabelle doll around. Okay, specifically stops in West Virginia, San Antonio, and New Orleans. And in July 2025, during a stop at the Gettysburg, Pennsylvania tour, co host and paranormal investigator Dan Rivera was found dead in his hotel room. That is so scary. What are the causes? What's the coincidence that just happens when they happen to take the Annabelle doll out on tour? That is such a crazy, crazy thing. So, it's crazy to us because social media, everyone speculated, oh my God, it's because of Annabelle. Oh my God. We're all stressed out thinking it's about her. But authorities confirmed the doll was not in the hotel room and there was no evidence tying Riviera's death to anything supernatural. So we don't know how he passed away. RIP, that's very sad. And I hope his family's doing okay. I don't know anything really about the guy or about his family, but I hope, everyone's doing okay with that. Especially it's sad when there's a lot of speculation online. It doesn't feel good to, trivialize someone's death like this, but yeah, I hope everything is okay with his family. NESPR director Tony Spera, he is the Warrens' son-in-law, and he said that the doll was always under supervision and it was never missing or unaccounted for. So that goes to show that perhaps that story was just a simple tragic, death of that guy, but had nothing to do with the doll. People are conflating the two with each other. People don't really know either way for sure, but I just find that pretty interesting, and definitely social media found that very interesting too, that as soon as you take the Annabelle out on tour, something bad happens, just saying. So, just now in August, Matt Rife, along with YouTuber Elton Cassie, reportedly purchased the former Warren home and its attached occult museum. So, multiple sources report that they are now the legal guardians, not outright owners, of over 700 haunted artifacts, including Annabelle. Good luck, Matt Rife. Good luck, Matt, because you don't even know what you just walked into. My goodness. The guardianship arrangement is reportedly for a minimum of 5 years. So I don't know really what that entails. And I don't think it says he's not the outright owner, but has some sort of guardianship over everything in the estate, which is the artifacts. So crazy. Um, and he has publicly stated that he plans to respect the Warrens' legacy and reopen the property for public tours and overnight stays. Ooh. I mean, if he's doing that, he's going to be making a lot of money for sure. But at what cost, you know? So I guess time will tell. We will be able to see what what really is going to happen is if it's truly haunted as people say it is, if it's truly a bad demonic doll, then there has to be, occurrences that I hope they don't happen. But if they do, we'll know that it's, because Annabelle's there. She's fucking shit up on purpose because she knows you guys come in my area, come in my house, think you guys are gonna charge people tickets to come to this event and come see me and come blah blah blah. I'm gonna cause some shit. So I don't know. I don't know how that's really gonna go. So we'll see. His involvement has sparked a mix of excitement, skepticism, and curiosity, both in horror fans and the paranormal community. So a lot of people are interested. A lot of people want to see if there's any energy there, perhaps any paranormal energy. And I feel like since Annabelle is so popular with all the movies of The Conjuring, with the newest movie coming out September the 5th, I mean, is this maybe a publicity stunt, allegedly? Is this a publicity stunt? Matt Rife buying the estate, having guardianship over Annabelle with the new movie coming around the corner, trying to do some public tours of the estate. So I don't know. It's a little side eye to me, but I guess we will have to see because who knows, girl. So people are definitely flipped on this. You have the believers and the skeptics. The believers see Annabelle as one of the most dangerous haunted objects in the world. And then you have the skeptics who argue that there is no verifiable evidence to prove that the doll has supernatural abilities and believe that the story has been amplified for publicity and tourism. Well, I believe that the truth really does lie somewhere in between. It's likely between folklore, faith, and marketing genius and just marketing this whole story to get tourism, excitement for the movie. I think it's a mixture of kind of everything, but I would, if I were you, I probably wouldn't go to see because I'd be too scared. But of course, spend your money how you want. I personally don't think I'd go. I'd be too nervous and scared, and I don't want to mess with that. Just like I don't want to ever mess with a Ouija board, anything like that. Um, so yeah, her story has lasted over 50 years, you guys, morphing from a local Connecticut story to now a blockbuster movie that's just so worldwide. And I just think it's so interesting. It's an interesting topic, and it's just fascinating how we as a society obsess over the horror and the supernatural and the paranormal. It's like we cling to things that we hope to be true because if it's true, then it means our world is scarier than we think it is. Or if it's true, maybe there's some solace that like we're out of like we don't have control over everything and some things we can't explain and we just have to accept that. And maybe some people find some solace in that you can't control everything in the world, you can't know everything, it's impossible. And I kind of do find peace in that. I find peace in just letting go, realizing that you can't know everything, you can't trust everything. Like I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes you can't know the truth about things. Sometimes you either have to just believe it or not believe it. But yeah, fascinating stuff, you guys. I definitely think this is going to be way bigger than we think it is. I think it might turn into a Netflix special now. I think he's going to get lots of publicity, of course, and people are going to be interested to see his story of like purchasing the estate and following him along on his journey. Like everyone is fascinated, and like Halloween is coming up. We're approaching fall. It's gonna be fall vibes soon, so everyone's gonna be obsessed and wanting to know more. So I'm gonna be keeping track of this story, and if there are any updates, I'll definitely let you guys know. And something related that I now want to talk about is my hot take of the week, which involves movie theaters. And I love going to see movies. I absolutely love it. I go to the movies at least twice a month and I just love it. It's the best thing ever. I just love sitting in a chair. I love the surround sound, the darkness, the everything, the smell of popcorn. Oh, but what I freaking hate and what I'm about to snap about is when people talk during movies and it ruins the whole movie going experience for everyone in the theater. Okay? If you talk during a movie in a movie theater, you're a criminal and you deserve it to be punished. And I'm serious. There should be fines for people who literally ruin your movie experience by talking, by kicking your seat, by pushing their seat so far back that it's bouncing off of your knees. Oh my goodness. I've been in the theater where people were taking selfies with the flash. And this wasn't like teenagers, you guys. These are adults. I have had to tell them, I have had to shush a few of them, and I have to actually have said, can you please be quiet? Or, excuse me, you're bouncing on my knees. Or, excuse me, your seat is touching my knee. Or, you're kicking my chair. Like, I have had to check people, and they're not even teenagers. Most of you guys might say, oh, that's what kids are gonna be kids. That's what kids. Bitch, this is not kids. This is sometimes in a VIP 19 plus theater that you have people talking to each other the whole entire time. And it's so frustrating. And I try not to be a bitch. I try to just like suck it up and just deal with it, whatever. But I get overstimulated and I really cannot focus on the movie when all I hear is whispering in the back of my ear, like flies. I can't focus. Cause then it just pisses me off thinking, like, oh my God, people are no self awareness. Like, people are selfish, no self awareness. They're ruining the entire experience for other people. And usually I wait for someone else to say something to them and speak up. But sometimes I really can't hold it in and I snap. I like turn. I'm like, excuse me, if you wanted to speak, you should have just stayed at home. Like, honestly, don't go to the theater if you're going to speak to the person that you're with. Go to the theater if you want to watch a movie. If you want to talk while watching a movie, watch it at home. Watch it anywhere but a freaking theater where you're supposed to be quiet. I don't get it. This hill, I'm not getting off this hill. I will snap. I will snap. So that's my hot take for the week. I'm pissed off. I am pissed off. I just made myself so mad. Annabelle, help me, girl. Help me feel better. But then I'm gonna go into a question that one of you sent me. Janice, thank you so much for sending this question. She said, what tips can you give me to embrace my skin without makeup? I struggle with acne. Sorry, I'm just laughing because this is such a crazy segue. But let's get to Janice's question, shall we? She says, what tips can you give me to embrace my skin without makeup? I struggle with acne scars and always feel like I need to wear heavy makeup to get rid of all the discoloration. Oh, girl, Janice, I completely empathize with you so much. Sometimes I feel like I cannot leave my house too without makeup. Um, and you know what? We are meant to hate how we look. The society is pressuring us to always hate how we look. So my advice to you would be to ignore that noise. But if you want to have some type of coverage on your face, do a really, really light serum that has a little bit of coverage in it. It doesn't have to be super heavy pigmented foundation. It could just be a tinted moisturizer that has SPF in it. And that way you feel like you have some coverage, but you're not wearing heavy, heavy makeup, because you shouldn't have to feel forced to wear heavy makeup every day if you don't want to. And I'm sure you look so beautiful without it. So I hope that you can see that within yourself. And bitch, sorry to call you bitch, but bitch, we all have insecurities. We all don't look 100% all the time. Like, we all are kind of ugly in some way. Like, we all have flaws that are fine. And like, our ugliness, parts of us that we see that are ugly, could be something that other people love and admire and adore, and we just don't realize it yet. So, you know what? It's all about adoring yourself for how you are, what you look like. And like I said, just take baby steps. Like if you can't do completely no makeup, do a light tinted moisturizer. That would definitely give you some confidence to leave the house and not really care what you look like, but still knowing like you're covered a little bit. I personally always love to wear a tinted moisturizer just because it gives me some coverage. I love it. So, yes, Janice, I hope that helps. I love you, girl, and just rock it. Honestly, my advice is just rock it. So yeah, you guys, I guess that is it. Wow, I feel like that was a shorter episode. I don't know why I just pushed through that whole Annabelle segment, but I hope that you guys learned something new. I'm gonna do a very interesting deep dive in the third week of August. I'm still planning out the next week's episode, but I have a crazy topic I'm going to be talking about third week of August. So check out that stream once it's live, once it's uploaded. And yeah. So, moral of the story today, you guys. Don't talk during movies, but be respectful of Annabelle. And, I think we all are curious to see what happens with that. I know I am. Whew, Miss Girl. I just hope that he crosses his T's and dots his I's because he is in for a rude awakening if he thinks that he's gonna just swoop in and get a hold of all of these haunted artifacts. And like I hope he has like a spell on himself that can protect him, a protection spell, because girl, I'm scared for you, girl. But yeah, that's about it, y'all. I'm gonna get going now. I hope you guys enjoy listening to this podcast. I definitely love sitting down here and talking to you guys. I also love the setup that I have going. I have my little signage here, my little, YouTube plaque of reaching 100K. So I'm excited for this podcast journey. I truly, truly am. And even sitting here, I'm thinking like, I don't even want to end this podcast right now. Me, but I'm gonna. And I hope this gives you some type of spookiness, spooky vibes because fall is approaching. I'm so excited for the fall. So excited for PSLs. If you don't know what a PSL is, it's a pumpkin spice latte. I'm excited for that. And I'm excited to bring you guys some deep dive stories. Not every episode is going to be about true crime or something paranormal. I will definitely explore a whole lot of other subjects if you're not interested in true crime, because I'm a girl who just loves to talk about interesting stories. And a lot of it falls into the true crime category for me. But there is a lot of interesting topics, like I said, specifically the dark side of the weight loss industry that I cannot wait to dive deep into. So if you like this podcast, please consider following me so you could be updated as soon as I post a new episode. And thank you so much for listening to Only Olivia's World 95 Podcast, where it's only me, only her, and it's only she. Bye, guys.